Hey there, hopefully you're doing great. This is Muktoshan, welcoming you all to this online English class. Today I'm gonna deal with English second paper. And we know this paper particularly focuses on writing skill along with other skills. So if you are quite excited to develop your writing skill, let's dive in.
It's only a presentation of Department of English, Class 11 and 12. Subject English second paper. Today we are gonna solve a couple of board questions regarding sentence connectors. This topic, use of sentence connectors, has been dealt with in earlier classes. Despite that, today I would like to get you to glance over this topic again within a couple of minutes so that you can interact convincingly. So let's get in sentence types. To connect consecutive sentences. If the two sentences one after another are consecutive, then in between the two sentences we can use the following connectors, and they are firstly, secondly, thirdly, then, afterwards, then, etc. Rule number 2. To connect similar sentences, and the connectors are similarly, in the same way, likewise, etc. Rule number 3. To connect different sentences, and the connectors are however, anyway, yet, nevertheless, etc. Rule number 4. To connect opposite sentences, and the connectors are but, despite that, on the other hand, in contrast, whereas, etc. Rule number 5. To connect impassive sentences, and the connectors are in fact, actually, indeed, of course, truly, obviously, etc. Rule number 6. To show exemplification connectors, such as, for instance, like, for example, namely, etc. Rule number 7. To indicate cause-effect connectors, as, because, since, etc. Rule number 8. To indicate condition connectors, if, unless, in case, etc. Rule number 9. To indicate addition, and the connectors are besides, moreover, also, even, in addition, etc. Rule number 10. To indicate particularization, and the connectors are particularly, specially, etc. Rule number 11. To indicate summation, and the connectors are in short, in brief, in other words, etc. Rule number 12. To indicate result, and the connectors are as a result, consequently, hence, so, therefore, that's why, etc. Here are the board questions for practice, Dhaka Board 2019 and Ranchi Board 2019. So first, let's deal with Dhaka Board 2019. Use appropriate sentence connectors in the blank spaces of the following passages. Each question carries 0.5 marks, so total 10 questions equals 5 marks. Trees are a vital part of our environment. They bear a great impact on the climate. Here, the sentence of question A indicates emphasis. So, if you have glanced over the rules just before a while attentively, then you'll be able to answer this problem. Hopefully, you have done. So, let's match the answer with your own. Actually, or in fact. Let's get in for details. To express certainty or truth or emphasis, connectors. In fact, actually, indeed, as a matter of fact, truly, of course, obviously, etc. For example, he was silent despite all my questions. Actually, or indeed, or in fact, or really, any of them is correct. He had nothing to say. Now question number B. ... We are not kind and careful about them. This sentence indicate contrast. So hopefully you have answered. Let's match with the answer shown on the screen. Yet still what? Let's get in for details. To contrast, connectors, however, anyway, still, despite that, nevertheless, yet, on the other hand, but, etc. For example, Joe is lazy, however, his brother is diligent. Question C. ... We destroy trees at random. This sentence of question C indicates specification at particular point, or it indicates corrections. So hopefully you have answered. Let's check. Rather. Let's get in for details. For correction, connectors, rather, to be more precise, etc. For example, he never said so. Rather, he speaks highly of all of us. Question D. ... One day the country will bear the consequence of greenhouse effect. Here this sentence of question D indicates a consequence. So hopefully this one is very easier to you. You have probably answered. Let's match your answer with the answer shown on the screen. As a result or consequently. Let's get in for details. To result, connectors, as a result, thus, that's way, hence, so, therefore, consequently, etc. For example, Mr. Zami is a good student, hence, he is loved very dearly by his teachers. Question E. Ours is an agricultural country. Our economy depends on agriculture. These two clauses indicates cause and effect. So you have probably answered correctly this time also. Let's match your answer with the answer given on the screen. As or since. To reason, connectors, as, because, since, etc. For example, since he is very meritorious, he gets GPA 5. Question F. ... Trees play a vital role on our climate. The sentence of question F indicates addition. Are you ready with your answer? If you are, so let's match your answer with the answer given on the screen. In addition or besides? Let's get in for details. To add, connectors, in addition, moreover, besides, furthermore, also, etc. For example, Jami writes short stories. In addition, he writes articles for a newspaper. Question G. ... Trees keep the soil strong and protect it. This sentence of question G indicates consecutiveness. And this one is very easy. Hopefully you have answered. Let's match. Firstly, to connect consecutive sentences, connectors, firstly, secondly, thirdly, then, etc. For example, there are many ways to solve the food problem in Bangladesh. Firstly, we must sustain the present production of food. Secondly, we must control the rapid population growth. Question H. Tree saves us from flood and many other natural calamities. So again, this sentence of question H indicates consecutiveness. So here, secondly, question I. Trees provide us timber which of great use, especially in construction works and for making. This sentence of question I again indicates consecutiveness. So here, thirdly, or moreover. Furniture. Question J. Trees are our best friends. This sentence of question J indicates result. So this one is very easier to you. Hopefully you have answered. Let's match your answer with the answer given on the screen. That's way, or so, oblique, therefore. Let's get in for details. To result, connectors as a result, thus, that way, hence, so, therefore, consequently, etc. For example, Mr. Jami is a good student, hence, he is loved very dearly by his teachers. That's it. So this one was Dhaka Board 2019. Let's get back for Ranchi Board 2019. Now let's move into next phase for Ranchi Board 2019 to be dealt with. Unemployment is a great problem in our country. It is the burning question of the day. This sentence of question A again indicates emphasis. So before a while we just solve this type of problems. So hopefully you have answered. Let's match your answer with the answer given on the screen. In fact, actually, really, let's get in for details. This page we have just glanced over before a while, so this is known to us. So if the sentence expresses emphasis, then we'll be able to use this type of connectors. Question B. Almost all the countries of the world suffer from the curse of this unemployment problem. This sentence of question B indicates current happening. So have you answered? So if you have answered, let's match your answer with the answer given on the screen at present or now. Let's get in for details. To indicate current happening, connectors at present, presently, at the present time, currently, now, nowadays, at this time, etc. For example, at present, women are contributing to the society remarkably. Question C. Bangladesh is the worst sufferer of this so-called problem. This sentence of question C indicate contrast. Again, hopefully you have answered. So let's match your answer with the answer given on the screen. But or however. So let's get in again for details. Again, to contrast the sentence, we can use these connectors. However, anyway, still, despite that, nevertheless, yet, on the other hand, but, etc. And the example is given below for your consideration. Question D. Nowhere in the world this problem is so acute as in our country. This sentence of question D expresses truth. So hopefully you have answered. Let's match. It is true that or truly. Let's get in for details. To express certainty or truth or emphasis, connectors. These connectors will be able to use in fact, actually, indeed, as a matter of fact, truly, of course, obviously, etc. For example, he was silent despite all my questions. Actually, indeed, in fact, really, any of the answers is correct. He had nothing to say. Question E. There are many reasons behind it. Again, this sentence of question E expresses certainty. So hopefully you have answered. Let's match. Again, it is the same education, certainty. Question F. Our country is industrially backward. This sentence of question F indicates consecutiveness. And we know if any sentence indicates consecutiveness, then we can use firstly, secondly, thirdly, etc. So let's move into the next problem. Question G. Our system of education fails to give a student an independent start of life. This sentence of question G indicates consecutiveness. So here you have answered correctly. This time also, let's match your answer with the answer given on the screen. Secondly, question H. It has little provision for vocational training. Again, this sentence of question H also indicates consecutiveness. So here we can give thirdly. Question I. Our students and youths have false sense of dignity. This sentence of question I indicates addition. Probably you have answered correctly this time also. So let's match your answer with the answer given on the screen. Besides or moreover, let's get in for details. To add connectors in addition, moreover, besides, furthermore, also, etc. For example, Jamie writes short stories. In addition, he writes articles for a newspaper. And the last question J. They run after jobs blindly. This sentence of question J indicates result. And we know to indicate results, what connectors can we put? Yes, you are absolutely right. So let's match your answer with the answer given on the screen. So hopefully you have answered correctly this time also. So let's get in for details. To result connectors as a result does that way, hence, so therefore, consequently, etc. For example, Mr. Jami is a good student, hence he is loved very dearly by his teachers. Same page has appeared before us several times only for your sake, so that if it comes repeatedly, then the things can get into your mind strongly. Thank you very much. Please follow the books for more details.
So, dear learners, hopefully you have understood everything and enjoyed the today's session. If any of you have missed anything or have confusion, please feel free to ask your question to your subject teacher or put your question in the comment section below. We would appreciate your any type of question regarding the topic. See all of you around with another video. Till then, take care, stay safe, have a nice time.